Your first alert forecast with meteorologist Corey Thompson.
For the most part, a pretty easy weather day across eastern Iowa. There is that exception, though, of some showers this morning. Now, there could be a couple of heavier downpours that we've seen so far in some very isolated locations, but most of this activity will be light, and most of it in most locations will be ending fairly early. We see it's already down toward the Highway 20 corridor and points to the south, but a few of these heavier little downpours just in far northern Lynn County and a few in southern Delaware, as well as western Dubuque County, too. A couple of lightning strikes within this particular activity, so watch out for that too. As these go through your area, just hang out indoors for a little bit to avoid that trouble. Off to the northwest, more showers in southern Minnesota, but this is the end of it, at least as that opportunity goes through today. They're moving at about 40 miles per hour, so clearing the Cedar Rapids area by about 10 o'clock and then toward the Mississippi River closer to noon down toward the Quad Cities. Dubuque City Cam showing at least some rain falling in the area, wet pavement down below. You can see some rain falling in the distance too. Temperatures starting off in the upper 60s to low 70s, with most areas having warmed a degree or two since their lows this morning, up to 72 in Iowa City. Dew points still in the upper 60s, so they are a little bit sticky this morning, but notice even by late afternoon or late morning into the afternoon, once we get past that shower activity, things drop pretty quickly. We'll be down to perhaps the upper 50s or low 60s by this afternoon and lasting into the evening. Pinpoint Futurecast shows the clouds that we have this morning and the shower activity too, but notice by 11 o'clock already seeing some clearing in our northwest and northeast zones. Clouds will move out of the area for the afternoon by around lunchtime, and then into the evening things stay really nice. We have evening plans across eastern Iowa. Nothing in the weather will stop you this time, unlike yesterday where things got quite stormy toward the end of the day. First alert forecast for today features highs around 84 degrees in Manchester, 87 in Oskaloosa. With that decreasing dew point, though, heat index readings not a concern today. We will not see those really be an issue until perhaps a little bit later in the week, but even then, not like what we saw yesterday. Chance of storms does return as we head toward Thursday night into Friday morning. Pretty widespread across portions of the viewing area. We catch a little bit of a break in the afternoon and then perhaps more development toward the evening. It's that redevelopment later on Friday that could carry a risk of some severe storms, a slight risk for areas south of Highway 20, including places like Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. We'll be keeping a close eye on it between now and then, giving you the updates, and that's your first alert to that potential. As we go toward the weekend, a few showers could linger on Saturday, but cooler temperatures will work in behind that storm system. Upper 70s probably the best we can manage for highs by the time we get toward Sunday into Monday. But it's not long before we head the other direction, with 80s making a return by the middle of next week in the time for the 4th of July. Otherwise question, another true-false statement for you today. A funnel cloud only becomes a tornado when it touches the ground. Is that true or false?
I think it's true. I'm leaning toward false. I saw the funnel cloud yesterday, and I didn't think it was a tornado because it wasn't moving. It wasn't rotating. So I think that would be more of a factor. I'm going to say B.
It is true. So that's the big distinguishing feature is whether it's touching the ground or not. And it's not necessarily the whole, like what we saw yesterday was like a very clearly like cloud material funnel, right? Like it looked like a cloud, but in a small rope. It doesn't necessarily have to be visible all the way to the ground, but you can see the wind on the ground sometimes in these cases. Yesterday was one of them. It looked like in some of those videos we had, it was touching the ground, but you couldn't see the cloud extending all the way down. So it's that contact of the wind. And so that was the difference between some of those smaller funnels and that one tornado we had, at least of a report.
Yeah, I appreciate all the pictures, though.
Very much so. It helps us a lot, especially when we're trying to figure out what's going on out there. Ground truth always helps.
All right. Thanks, Corey.
Yeah.